Testing 1, 2.
Testing. Testing.
Hello, everyone.
I'll be back.
Hello. Thank you for coming this evening, everyone. We're going to start the meeting this evening. Thank you for coming. The May 14th Westfield Washington School Board of Trustees meeting is now in session. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are glad to see so many of you here. Since we have a quorum, we will stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. It is now time for our favorite part of the board meeting, Student of the Month. So just a couple of notes before we get started. This evening you will see Mr. David Dixon, a professional photographer, who will take students' pictures as they're receiving the awards up front. Once all the students have been recognized, we will have an intermission, and you, family members, and students can go to the backdrop and get additional pictures with Mr. Dixon. So now we will first start with the Virginia F. Wood Early Learning Center.
Good evening. I'm Marcy Dorado, the director of the Early Learning Center, and I want to introduce you to Amelia Carroll. You can see she was a brave girl and popped right out of her seat and took off to walk up here. Good job. I'm pleased to introduce Amelia. She's a student in Miss Kim and Ms. Liz's class. She always asks for ways she can help and does a great job with other students. The teachers have this to say about Amelia. Since the beginning of the school year, Amelia has had a thirst for learning as much as she can. She participates in everything the class does. She is polite to her teachers and shows respect to her peers. She has impeccable manners for a 3 to 4-year-old. She is always willing to help her friends in any way that she can, even if it's helping to pick up toys. She is a model student in a preschool classroom. As a small child, it's easy to follow what others are doing, even if it's not always the right thing. But Amelia does not do that. She leads others in the classroom by modeling kindness and respect. We're happy that she's going to be joining us again next year and all aboard. Congratulations, Amelia, on being so helpful and kind. We're proud to honor her as our Virginia F. Wood Early Learning Center Student of the Month.
Next, we have Carrie Ridge.
Hello, my name is Andy Hilton. I'm the principal at Carrie Ridge, and this is Brooks, and he is our student of the month. Each month, we talk about different lifelines at Carrie Ridge, and it's like hardworking, perseverance, things like that, and he just exemplifies all of them, so just not to narrow one down, but we had some different teachers share different things about Brooks, and I don't have time to read them all, so I'm going to read from Mrs. Baker, his third grade teacher. I didn't see you, so. When I think of problem solver, Brooks immediately comes to mind. Our lifeline states that problem solving is to use your resources and reasoning to create solutions, and Brooks exemplifies this lifeline on a daily basis. Brooks joined our classroom after winter break this year. You would never know it that he had not been a part of our classroom or school community from the start. He fit in effortlessly and instantly became a part of the team, but his presence was definitely felt in an extraordinary way. Brooks came in ready to take on any challenge that would come his way and did so with a positive attitude, a smile, and usually a joke. Whenever Brooks sees a problem or someone in need, he is right there to offer a helping hand and some helpful advice. Cafeteria was left a mess? Not a problem. Brooks will get a crew together for cleanup and even convince them to give up their recess to do so. Someone sitting alone in a club or activity that doesn't have a partner for the group work, no need to worry. Brooks will immediately join the person and become an instant friend. Brooks can often tell there is a problem before you even notice it. You will often find him opening a door for others, offering to carry something down the hall, or helping a friend in need, whether they are having a bad day, injured, or stuck on a math problem. We have been working on several project-based learning activities which have been challenging and exciting for the students. During our first project, Brooks took on each new challenge head-on and was on hand to help anyone else who got stuck. Sorry about that. Our second project, the donut shop, typically takes about a week or more in class time to complete. Brooks came back the day after it was assigned and did the entire project at home. Brooks has a heart of gold, a brilliant mind, and an amazing sense of humor. Whenever we have a problem, we know that Brooks will be there to help find a solution. So Brooks came to us after winter break and has been a huge part, and we had many teachers, so in such a short time, he did an amazing job. He's an amazing kid, and congratulations.
Next, we have Maple Glen.
Hello, my name is Libby Bod. I'm the assistant principal at Maple Glen Elementary School, and I have a third grader here with me, Julio I knew I was going to do this. Salazar Villegas, right? I always mispronounce his last names. Julio is a third grader here at Maple Glen, and he has been nominated by several of our staff members. I have Mrs. Clark, our literacy teacher, Mrs. Eck, one of our instructional assistants, Mrs. West, our EL teacher, and then I have Sue Garcia with us. She's our mentor. She also knows Julio, and she's going to translate a little bit for us too, for his family. And then I'm going to hand it over to Leanne to say some nice words.
All right, Julio. Julio is a fairly new student to Maple Glen, and we are so happy that he is at our school. He comes to school each day with a positive attitude. He always has a smile on his face, and he brings happiness to others around him. He has a great sense of humor. He loves soccer, and he has a special handshake with many different teachers, which shows the importance of him building relationships with others. Julio is a very, very hard worker and gives great effort. We imagine as a multilingual learner, school can be challenging and overwhelming at times for Julio, but he continues to show up and has an amazing attitude. He does not let the challenges of school get him down. He continues to try hard and believe in himself. Julio often says that he's a professional, and we agree. He's a professional at bringing joy to the people around him. And it's for these reasons and many, many more that Julio is our student of the month.
Julio es un estudiante nuevo en Maple Glen y estamos muy felices de que esté aquí. Viene a la escuela todos los días con una actitud positiva. Siempre tiene una sonrisa y trae felicidad a los quienes lo rodean. Él tiene una gran sentido de humor. Le encanta el fútbol. Julio tiene un saludo especial con muchos maestros diferentes, lo que muestra la importancia de crear relaciones con los demás. Julio es muy trabajador y se esfuerza mucho.
Monon Trail.
All right, good evening. My name is Jeremy Marvel. I'm the principal at Monon Trail Elementary School, and this is Lexi Nicole, a kindergarten teacher. And we have Rhett Buchanan as our Student of the Month at Monon Trail. And Rhett has done a really good job this year. I got to know him a little bit more after he was nominated for our Student of the Month. So just a little bit about him that I got to learn about was when I pulled him to let him know that he was our Student of the Month, nominated over 700 students to choose from, and he was nominated. I pulled him out and I let him know, hey, someone from your class is the Student of the Month. Who do you think that is? And I just was ready for him to get a big smile on his face, and he said somebody else's name. It's like, okay, well, let's try again. I was like, nope, not that student. You want to try again? 2 more students' names were called, and they were not Rhett. So I did find out that he is a very, very humble kid, but getting to talk to his classmates and some of his friends, they just couldn't say enough how kind he is, how helpful he is. One student said that he doesn't get yelled at recess, which is a great thing. Always ready to shoot for that when you're in kindergarten, right? So I'll let Mrs. Nicole share a little bit more about Rhett.
It's been an honor being able to teach Rhett this year. He does a great job of showing our ROC's expectations at Monon. He is responsible, open-minded, collaborative, kind, and very self-aware. I feel like he shows those things every single day. He's definitely going to be a student that whoever is his teacher in first grade is going to be extremely lucky to have. I am already missing him, and we're not even done with the school year yet. So if you don't mind helping us celebrate Rhett Buchanan, he's an amazing kindergartner.
Oak Trace.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jane Hitch, the proud principal at Oak Trace. I have with me Maddie Stotzenbach, our 3rd grade teacher, and Claire Hirschfeld, our Student of the Month. You're going to love hearing about Claire. Claire is such a joy. She brings joy to everybody that she encounters. She's a hard worker. We're so proud of her. Last year, we got redistricted a little bit, so some of the Shamrock kids came over to our school, and we were so lucky because we got Claire and her sister to come over and join our team, and she just is an important part of our building, and we wouldn't be the same without her. So we're so glad that she's here. I reached out to lots of people, and like the others said, we don't have time to read them all, but I'll make sure that you see all of them. Everybody just talks about what a joy she is and how kind she is and how hard she works. I was checking her NWEA scores, and her goal was to raise her math score by 14 points. Yeah, Claire raised hers by 44 points. So that's pretty impressive. And reading was right there, too. 38 points. Those are unheard of numbers. We are so proud of Claire. Ms. Sassenbach's going to share a little bit, too.
Hi, so Claire works so hard in class, and we're so proud of how much she has grown academically, but she's also just a fun person to have in class. She's always bringing up the mood in the room, and her personality shines. She's leading her group in a project right now, and it's fun to see her shine in that role as well throughout the classroom. So we're just super proud of how hard she's worked and the joy she brings to our class.
Shout out to Claire as well.
All right, Shamrock Springs.
Good evening, everyone. Rob Hedges, principal at Shamrock Springs. I have Destiny Veasley here to represent Shamrock Springs. We always try to pick a 4th grader for the last one because they understand the Shamrock way, and it'll be our last few days we have left to Shamrock Springs, and just want to really recognize her. So Mrs. Millspaw, 4th grade teacher, has a few words she'd like to share.
I have many more words than this to share about her, but I was told 3 minutes. Okay. All right. I teach and instill in my students that the most important thing they can do for themselves is to establish a good relationship with their teachers. We discuss and practice strong communication skills and having purpose in what we say and what we do. Destiny has taken the seeds of this topic and grown her understanding throughout the year. As a 10-year-old, it is not easy to have tough conversations, to own our mistakes, to follow through on what we have committed to do. It's not easy as an adult either. Being human is hard. I have not just observed, but I have been a part of Destiny's growth as a human being. Her transformation as a beginning of the year 4th grader to an almost 5th grader is bold, and in my eyes, and others have seen it too. Throughout the school year, special area teachers, administration, and Destiny's past teachers have noticed her making strong student choices. Destiny has stepped up to be a leader, but in a way that does not demand the spotlight at all times. Instead, she has learned that there are many opportunities to lead and love quietly. She has developed her patience, her empathy, and her perspective when working with her peers. And her understanding of the value of respect and trust with peers and her adults has grown immensely. So returning to the importance of communication and teacher-student relationship, Destiny at 10 years old gets it. She gives me hope. This gives me hope, not just for her, but for each of my days as that come as I continue as an educator. Destiny's willingness to be coached, her desire to know more and to do better every single day, even when things are hard or she doesn't feel like it. That's inspiring. I'm incredibly grateful to have the special classroom family I have this year, and I am incredibly proud of Destiny for working with me, wanting to communicate, participating in the learning process. She shows up each day with a hug for me, right? Every morning. I look forward to it every morning. And she shows up with the willingness to use growth mindset and be an important part of our team. I look forward to Destiny taking all of this into 5th grade and beyond. Destiny has begun to shape her own destiny. I'll close with the words we speak to one another each and every single day as we say goodbye. I'm proud of you and I love you.
I love you.
Washington Woods.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Zack, and I'm the proud principal at Washington Woods. And I have with me today a very special gentleman, Bronx Gaylord, and his teacher, his 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Seibert. So today we're celebrating you, Bronx. As a leader in Me School, each month we recognize one of our students for modeling one of the habits of happy kids. Today we are recognizing Bronx for modeling habit number 7, sharpen the saw. Sharpen the saw means preserving and enhancing your greatest asset, which is you. It means that you have balance in your life, including your mind, body, spirit, and heart. Bronx has been a student at Washington Woods since kindergarten. During his time with us, he has grown tremendously. I remember Bronx as a 1st grader. He was shy and lacked confidence. However, with a little bit of love and a lot of leadership, he has grown to be one of our top students in our school, an overall great kid. He is a great friend and teammate. He goes out of his way to meet new people and is always encouraging others. He plays basketball, baseball, and football, and when he reflects on his time on the field and on the court, he shares that making passes and assists brings him the most joy. Bronx has served as a student lighthouse leadership team member for 2 years and has held a number of student leadership roles. Additionally, he serves in his community, giving back to others. We will miss his positive energy in our building next year.
Bronx knows just how important taking care of himself is to his overall leadership. He actively sharpens a saw in all 4 categories, which is mind, body, spirit, and heart. When he's at home, Bronx spends quality time with his family and friends. He takes many opportunities to volunteer and help in his community, and he takes care of himself by eating well, moving his body, and prioritizing sleep. We all know that the other habits cannot happen if we're not sharpening the saw, but Bronx shows us exactly how it's done. Way to go, Bronx.
And lastly, we want to share some words from your family. So they wanted to say, Bronx, we are so proud of you for being recognized as a Student of the Month for sharpening the saw. Way to go. We love watching how hard you work and how serious you take being a leader in your class and school. Good grades are awesome, but this is the stuff that builds character and lives beyond the grades. Nothing makes us more proud than to see you live out in action what we pray together every morning before school. Being a leader in your classroom and school. You get it, and you're doing it. Well done, Bomber. Is that what they call you? All right. We love you, and we are thrilled to celebrate you tonight. So Bronx, we just want to say congratulations. We are so proud of you, and we are going to miss you so much.
Westfield Intermediate School.
There we go. Good evening. Annette Patchett, principal of the Intermediate School, and I have with me today Mary Lancaster, Emily Price, Amy Hartsock, and of course, our Student of the Month, Carson Engel. And we are here to celebrate him. I had to take a peek at some things before we came, and I looked. This is our 3rd student of the month that came from Cary Ridge Elementary School, so that's pretty awesome. Whoop, whoop, back there to Cary Ridge. Also took a peek at some grades. Guess who's got all A's, Mom and Dad? Pretty exciting, pretty exciting. Teachers are here to celebrate, so I'm going to pass.
All right, well, we are here to celebrate and recognize Carson. You can find Carson in the morning greeting all of his peers, all of his teachers, sometimes in a shark costume. At the end of the day, you can always find him as the hallways start to get quiet. Carson's always lagging back, cleaning up the hallway, making sure our classroom community space looks the way that it should at the end of the day. And it's rubbed off on some other peers around him. We now kind of have a little group that has started to do that with no prompting from anyone, just kind of following Carson's leadership. That is something we see each and every day in class. He's got that big brother energy. I know that definitely comes from home, and he brings that into school. In addition to his always being willing to share his opinion and be vocal and kind of take that leadership role in groups, he also has those quiet leadership abilities. When I'm listening to Carson in groups, he's making sure that what everyone has to say is taken into consideration. He's making sure that everyone has a part and a role in whatever challenge they're taking place and doing. Carson's someone who's kind of always looking out for everyone around him. With that leadership piece, you walk up behind Carson sometimes and you might just see him listening to a podcast about how to focus, how to become a better leader, how to grow himself as a person. That is not something you typically find our 5th grade boys doing, and just one of the many things about him that stands out. He's inclusive, he always gives effort, he takes initiative in everything he does, he's a self-advocate, he's an advocate for others. You just really exude all of those qualities that we look for in our 5th graders, and we are really super proud of you, and I know you've got a couple little brothers out there that really look up to you, and I can't wait to see what you are bringing to them at home when they become 5th graders, because I know you're carrying that outside of school too. So thank you, Carson.
Westfield Middle School.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stacy Swan, principal of the middle school, and it is my honor to recognize my buddy, Nathan Musgrave. So I'm going to start with some comments from his teacher, and then I will close it out. So this is from Mrs. Waltrip, okay? Nathan has shown amazing growth both personally and professionally, or personally and academically, while at the middle school. He is a student that came in only wanting to stay on the tasks that he wanted to do and not do what the class wanted to do. I'm so proud that he's made big changes and he's willing to get to the challenges that we have in class. Nathan takes responsibility in lessons. His conversations are with others and they're uplifting and wanting them to be successful. Thank you, Nathan, for being a part of our class. This is from Mrs. Fosnot and Mrs. Maximovich. It has been such a pleasure working with Nathan for the last 2 years in LA Lab. He has added so much to our class with his humor and knowledge. Nathan is a student that makes a point to say hello, stop in, and say goodbye at the end of the day. And then he also often teases us about how we won't get to see him next year. He brings a smile to all of our faces. He's worked hard the past 2 years and shown significant growth in his word and reading and writing. The work has been difficult, but Nathan has shown grit and determination. We are so proud of you. And finally, Mrs. Dixon. Nathan has been such a joy to have in class. He has the ability to carry on a conversation, and his care and compassion for others is seen on a daily basis. Nathan has leadership qualities, and those traits we can see every day. Over the course of the middle school, Nathan has made great growth. His hard work and determination has helped him get to where he is today, and we can't wait to see how far he goes. So you notice some of the things are talking about growth, and I've heard stories about elementary, and I just don't believe them. I don't believe them because the person I know comes in every day, and he's been a great friend to me because he's been one of the first people that welcomed me into the middle school. We chat every day in the morning, every day at lunch, and we bond over Uncrustables because they're both of our favorite foods. So, but we have a lot more in common than that. He runs our school store. We have a snack shack, so he makes sure that we have the good stuff in there like Rice Krispie treats and our grandma's cookies. So he makes sure the stocks are full, and he's just done a great job, and he's just been a personal joy for me while being at the middle school. So thank you, Nathan, and good luck in the high school.
Westfield High School.
Good evening. My name is Alicia Deniston. I'm principal at the high school, and I would love to present to you Natalie Cazal. And Natalie is just about to graduate, but she is a senior at Westfield, and I'm so excited to honor her tonight. She has been a standout academically, involved in lots of leadership activities. But I think what sets her apart, and I think maybe out of any other student, is just the amazing representation she's had for us in her internships this year. And when we think about life-ready seniors, we think about those seniors that really have those skills to go out into the workplace and be a part of our community, and she has really done that. And so we're so proud of her. I want to share that she will be going to Purdue in the fall, and they are very lucky to get her. She's going into biological engineering with a focus in the pharmaceutical process, wants to be a pharmaceutical patent lawyer. So she has, if that tells you anything about who she is. She has been a part of our WHS swim team. She has been a part of our rugby team and president of Girls in STEM. And I want to read just a couple things, but I'm going to highlight Michelle Gowdy has been our internship coordinator. and she could not speak more highly of you. And I think she sums up very well just all that you have been to us. So Natalie Cazal made WHS proud with her professionalism, intelligence, and her personality. Natalie completed 3 trimesters of internship, with each trimester being a different experience, and I think that is unique in and of itself. First trimester, Natalie interned at Webster and Garino. Not only did she file paperwork, but she also experienced the courtroom by attending 3 civil court hearings. Second trimester, she interned with Carolyn Grimes, an immigration lawyer. Natalie is currently interning at CVS as a pharmacy technician in training. What a wide breadth that you've had. Congratulations. On her evaluations, her mentors raved about her infectious smile, which you're seeing tonight, her brilliance, and her willingness to complete any task. And then just a couple words from your biomed teacher, Chelsea Hayes. I know she thinks the world of you as well. She describes you as incredibly self-motivated, energetic, and so positive, committed to academic and personal excellence, and extremely dedicated to schoolwork, extracurricular activities, and all the relationships she maintains. Natalie, you have been such a positive influence on our students and our staff. We are so excited for you, but we are going to miss you. So congratulations.
Congratulations to all of our May Students of the Month. After we present a Rock Strong Award and the Dr. Joe Montalone Award, students and families may be invited to the lobby for refreshments and photography. All right, who's coming up here? Ashley? Okay. Another highlight for us this evening is a special presentation of the Rock Strong Awards. Thank you to the Westfield Education Foundation for their sponsorship of these awards. At this time, I would like to invite Ashley Knott, the Executive Director of the Westfield Education Foundation and Director of Food Service, to present the Rock Strong Awards to our food service team leaders. Welcome, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you guys for being here. My name is Ashley Knott, and I'm with the Westfield Education Foundation, and I'm proud to be here tonight to recognize our leads from the Westfield Washington Kitchen. And I have with me Paul Shear, who wants to say a few things and introduce each of our team leads. They've served over 1.1 million meals this year. That's pretty incredible.
Thank y'all, everybody. I wanted to get a chance to recognize all my leads here, because a lot of times when you work in the kitchen with food services, if everything is perfect, you're invisible. It's when something goes wrong that people know your name. I want to make sure that everybody knows their name tonight. This is the 3rd year in a row that we've put over 1.1 million meals in your students' mouths this year, and I'm very appreciative. A lot of people don't understand that we went through with the COVID, the closures, the supply chain management. We're not allowed to lose, and we never did. So I want to make sure that we give them a great big round of applause and thank you for everything that they've done. And I wrote something real simple for them, so I wanted to make sure that they know, and I wrote it down for them. But I want to make sure that they know that the kitchen leads deserve immense praise and recognition for their incredible achievement of producing over 1.1 million meals each year for our students for the past 3 consecutive years. Their dedication, hard work, and passion for their students have not only met, but surpassed expectations. Their ability to consistently deliver such a high volume of meals while maintaining quality and flavor speaks volumes about their expertise and professionalism. They are the unsung heroes behind the scenes, ensuring that the students of Westfield are nourished each and every day. Their tireless efforts and unwavering commitment to excellence deserve our utmost respect and admiration. Let's celebrate the kitchen staff's outstanding accomplishment and thank them for their invaluable contribution to making a difference in people's lives through the power of food. And just because I promised everybody I'd show some humility, I'm going to try a little bit of this in Spanish. So clearly, I'm not from Spain. So, gracias por todo. Hold on. Gracias por todo lo que he hecho por Westfield. Sus estudiantes aprecian por aquí a Chin. Muchas gracias. Te amo. I tried. We got Sue Stoltz over here recommending Westfield Middle School. Maria Gutierrez representing Monon Trail. Dieselim Garcia with Shamrock Springs. Norelis Prieto Sanchez representing the ELC over here. Patricia Solano Montano representing the intermediate school. We have Beverly Warwick here representing Oak Trace. Maria Ortega here for Westfield High School. Yeah. And we have over here, we have Ayla Irvin with Maple Glen. Thank y'all so much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. That's him. Okay, before we break, Dr. Kaiser has one more. You guys are done, sorry. You're good, thank you. Good job. Dr. Kaiser has one more award this evening before we, yeah, oh, can you hear me? Oh.
Well, it's tough to top that, but we'll try. At least come equal to it. So, Joe, you want to come on up here, please? So, a year ago, Joe Montalong retired after a 28-year career in education, and we came up with an award to not only honor Joe, but to honor people that exemplify what Joe has done for us. So, a little history about Joe. He attended North Davies Community Schools in Elnora, Indiana. I looked that up. It's down by Lagodi in that area. My mom's from Lagodi, so I know the area. Spent some time in the military. He attended Oakland City University for his bachelor's, master's, and his PhD. Started teaching at Carmel Clay Middle School. Became an assistant principal at Westfield Middle School. Spent a little time up at Pipe Creek, right up the road in beautiful Maconaquah School Corporation. We recruited him back to Shamrock Springs, principal there from 04 to 06. Then he took over as Maple Glen in 2006. And then we moved him to central office where he worked for almost 7 years as our director of operations. Then he retired. But the key thing I want to say about Joe is, and I met him years ago when he was at Maple Glen Shamrock, and my kids went through Shamrock a few years back. But Joe's about relationships. He's a relationship person. He has the ability to make a difference for kids, staff, and community members. And Joe really exemplifies what we want to be in Westfield schools. So tonight, we are going to celebrate our first annual award winner for that, for this fine award. And I want to read just some general comments that are on the plaque right here. Joe, I'll let you just kind of hold that for a second. Yes, sir. And The Joe Montalong Award celebrates Westfield Washington Schools team member who advances a culture of positivity within and across the school community of Westfield. Again, Joe spent 28 years in education, and I'm just very proud to call him a friend. And Joe, this is an honor for you, and you get to talk and introduce the first recipient.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Kaiser. It's kind of strange to see your name on an award, and then you have to tell someone that they won something so prestigious. That's humility, right? The first person to win this award is somebody that I know very well, as we worked side by side together for the last 7 years. And I retired last July 1st, and she retired in February. And that person is Joanne Neff. Joanne, please come on up.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Dr. Mondalone and Joanne Neff. We are so appreciative of everything that you've done for our community. Well deserved for both of you. At this time, we invite everyone to the lobby for the professional photography, refreshments, and we will reconvene for the business portion of this meeting in 20 minutes. Is my mic working? Huh? It is? Well, I know, but they said they couldn't hear me. Josh, can you hear me? Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are going to have a quick presentation. If Jill Warner and the foreign exchange students would like to come to the front.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you to all the members of the board, and for the quick addition to inviting us all up here. My name is Jill Warner. I'm both a volunteer and a staff member for a nonprofit organization named AFS USA. And it is our pleasure, honestly, to present 4 young ladies who've had an amazing experience in this school district and in this community throughout the year. So I'm going to invite them each to speak very briefly about the impact that the community has had on them and that they have been able to have on the community. And at the very end, we have a certificate to present to the board on behalf of the Department of State. So, Leah.
Hi, I'm Leah. I'm from Switzerland, and it was really great to be here. I met some really amazing people, and it was cool to have like the American high school experience because we just know that from the movies. And it was so cool to like talk about Switzerland, and people were so interested in Westfield, and that was really great to experience.
Hi, my name is Isabel. I'm from Portugal, and I'm really grateful I had this opportunity and it was given to me because I loved it being here, and I met amazing people, how Leah said, and yeah, I'm really grateful, and I just want to say thank you.
Hi, my name is Sofia Rocha. I'm from Guatemala, and I just wanted to say that I'm truly grateful for being here. It is truly awesome to be able to share a culture and also gain knowledge in one. It's so beautiful to have so many new experiences, and overall just be able to share a little bit from where you come from. And it's really a moment of joy to see other students be interested and happy in what you have to bring and what you learn. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dona Gerkuska. I'm from North Macedonia, and I'm an AFS and a YES student as well. So the impact that community has had on me has been life-changing, to say in the least. I feel like I finally found my place, and I joined the track team. So even though I'm not a runner, the coaches were so supportive, and like just the community around me was so supportive that I was able to successfully complete the track season. And I also learned what being a good teammate is. I also did pottery this year, so that has been a really great experience too. And I did a lot of volunteering in Westfield. So I just think this will be obviously an experience we'll take with us for the rest of our lives. And I've also met a lot of people and I've became close with. And I just want to thank you for having us here, and it's really an honor. And this is the certificate. Should I?
You want me to share while you present it?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. So Teona represents a program that is a direct, like AFS becomes one of the subcontractors from the Department of State. So her program that she called YES is the Youth Exchange and Study Program, which was actually founded by Kennedy and Lugar. So it's really nice to know that a scholarship that one of our own legislators was part of forming, and we get to see the benefits here in our local community. So this certificate is to represent the strides that Westfield is taking in inviting individuals from diverse cultures around the country to be part of the community. And I can't tell you how amazing it's been to see Westfield embrace these kids and really welcome them and invite them to truly be a part of the community. So, thank you.
Do the board members have any questions for the kids?
I do. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. Can I get a favorite memory?
My favorite memory was to be on the dance team and the rugby team and having that team experience and playing sports with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that my favorite memory was to be part of the tennis team. Yeah, like I played many sports when I was little, but like tennis and like team, like it's really different here from like Portugal, and I loved it. And I also like my host family and travel with them. Like, yeah, that's my favorite memories.
I would definitely say my favorite memory is just like traveling with my host family, but also being part of a unified track team and how inclusive the community can be. I love spending time with them and just making new memories. It's been really fun.
For me, it's hard to choose a favorite memory, but Christmas morning comes to mind, and it was really like out of the movies, magical, and my host family made it really fun. So yeah.
No? All right, thank you so much. We're happy to have you. Stacy, any comment cards? No. All right, so at this time, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda. Consent items include board minutes, accounts payable vouchers, payroll vouchers, and personnel report. All items in the consent agenda have been reviewed by the board in advance of the meeting and approved in a single motion. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Oh, Ty, Jimmy, thank you. It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion or any questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion pass, or all opposed, say no. Motion passes. Thank you. We will now move to the business and operation portion of the agenda and the 2024 destruction of records, which Brian Michael will present.
So per Indian law, we must have the board approve our items to be public records that can be destroyed every year. It's a highly regulated side of what we do on when it can be destroyed and what can be destroyed, and Marcia Bohannon in our office does a great job of keeping all this in order. So attached in your documents are all the items. We will have shredding company come out in June and collect all those items up and have them all shredded. So happy to answer any questions, but I want to thank Marcia Bohannon in our office for putting all this together.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2024 destruction of public records per Indiana law as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Mike. It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2024 destruction of public records per Indiana law. Is there any other discussion or questions?
Brian, who do we use for that? Do we use Iron Mountain or?
Oh, I believe we use like ShedPro. So we have a bin in the back that we keep for kind of routine shredding, and then part of that contract is they'll come out once a year and collect all of our boxes and do everything at once. But we bid it out about every other year and just have a longer term contract with them.
Cool.
Great. We will now take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion passes. The next item is for business and operations to approve the Westfield High School FCCLA Club overnight field trip, which Brian will also present.
Yep. So we have 9 high school students who have qualified for the National Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America 2024 National Leadership Conference in Seattle, Washington, June 28th through July 3rd. The event provide perfect opportunity to network with members, advisors nationwide in leadership workshops, participate in community events, explore career pathways, and learn from industry experts. So per policy, we would ask that the board approve the out-of-state field trip for our high school students.
Excellent, thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the WHS FCCLA Club overnight field trip as presented.
So moved. Oh, go ahead.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded to approve the WHS FCCLA Club overnight field trip. Is there any questions?
Just curious, who runs the program at the high school? Where does this fall under?
Nikki Heflin. Yep. All right, we will now take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing their success. All right, thank you, Brian. Now we will move to the second reading of Batch 4 policies. We will ask Chris Baldwin.
Good evening, members of the board. I get the honor of presenting policies this evening. You will have we'll have the joy of Mike Hall joining us in future months to present policies. So for this evening, we are looking at batch 4, the second reading of these policies, which include duties of the school board, organizational meeting, board of finance and committees, functions, membership, board meetings, board member ethics, excuse me, legal settlement, homeless students, enrollment rights, and use of restraint and seclusion. These have been posted since April 16th, had much review by administration, and also an opportunity for all of you as board members to review. So I ask that you approve batch 4 policies as presented this evening.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the adoption of the 4th batch of policies as presented.
So moved.
Thanks, Rebecca. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thanks, Jimmy. It's been moved and seconded to approve the adoption of the 4th batch of policies. Is there any discussion or questions? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Now we will turn it back over to you to do the first reading of batch 5 policies.
Yep, batch 5, and as you know, we're in this process of reviewing all of our policies with CCHA. Batch 5 includes the following policy reviews: student suicide prevention and awareness, internal controls, purchasing procedures and capital assets, use of credit cards, collection and forgiveness of debt, unpaid meals, investment income, fundraising and crowdfunding, travel expenses, gifts and donations, and facility and transportation safety. These policies have been publicly posted as of today on board docs. There is no action needed this evening. We will bring them with any necessary changes or updates after review by the board and administration at the June meeting.
Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Hoover will present the next item on the agenda for curriculum, the implementation of Spark.
Thank you, members. Thank you, members of the board. The first item is a program called SPARK. SPARK's an acronym for Success, Perseverance, Achievement, Resilience, and Knowledge. So the Westfield School District has been utilizing a program named AVID in grades 7 through 10 for the previous 4 years. AVID was a program that stood for Advancement via Individual Determination. It was an elective opportunity for students to receive academic instruction in writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. Also a college preparatory program that we use with our students. It was usually aimed at students that had average or above average GPA, and it was done in addition to their core classrooms. Each year we identified students in the middle school, and we had approximately 100 students at the middle school, and just recently in the last 2 years, about 100 students at the high school. So this year, we have been, really the last 2 years, we've been having discussions with teachers at the middle school and high school, discussing that could we implement this more as a site-based model and not be a part of the AVID program, but actually do more of a Westfield version of this. Simply because we felt that we had the preparation and we had been a part of this for over 4 years, and so we felt that we could actually enhance the program by doing it locally. From a fiscal standpoint, we were getting a little concerned with the growing contract each year that we were paying. There was about a $25,000 contract fee, and one of the impacts of AVID is with its continued training and professional development. In order to administrators and teachers that are part of it have to go through a continuing professional development that quite honestly was fairly expensive, about $2,000 per conference, and we usually had to send anywhere between 10 and 12 people a couple times a year. So we feel like we can do this program the same way, still serve our students in the same way at a very minimal cost, possibly some summer training and possibly some light professional development. So the administration recommends that the implementation of the new SPARK program as presented.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the implementation of the new Spark program as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the implementation of the new Spark program. Is there any discussion or any questions?
So is Spark something that we developed and named?
It is, actually, yes. Our middle school administrators and teachers kind of brainstormed and wanted to keep wanted to keep the same underpinnings of Avid, but obviously kind of create and make it our own. We obviously want to still keep it about perseverance and resilience. It's really about getting kids strategies that help them prepare to become better students, and it's a lot about personal ambition and determination. So we wanted to keep those underpinnings. Obviously, we are going to lose the Avid title and lose some of the program components, but we feel like we've done a great job in the last few years, and really our middle school administrators and teachers have done a great job with that. So
Sounds good.
yeah.
I remember when they came to our board meeting and did a presentation, some of the kiddos at the middle school, and we still met there. And I think it's most impressive how well they learn how to take good notes.
Yep. Note-taking is one of the key parts. You probably heard of the binder system that they use at the middle school as well. So all those types of things are not necessarily there. We'd say those are great instructional strategies and practices, not necessarily Avid, but Avid incorporated many of those. And like I said, we've really enjoyed this program, but we just feel like we've probably reached a point where we can do an equal or maybe even a better job of that locally.
Great. All right.
Dr. Hoover, so, excuse me, sounds like with the annual fee in the conference, like we're gonna save 40 to 50,000, which is great. Is there any upfront cost to the Spark program, or is it,
Nope.
we're just able to do it everything in-house, so there's no cost?
There really is not. We are going to do, I've already worked with, and I apologize, there are 4 teachers at the middle school and 4 teachers at the high school that will be our Spark teachers. Most of them, all but 2 of them will be just Spark teachers and work with those classes. Most of them teach another subject area. So like, for example, Callie House at the high school teaches English, but then she'll also do some sections of Spark for those kids. All the people that are going to be teachers have been to trainings, have been through the communities of practice, and so they understand the pedagogy and the curriculum that comes with it. So we're going to take that as a model, and then this summer in early June, we're going to sit down with these 8, myself, Dr. Atha, and some of the administrators, and kind of then write out what our plan looks like. So really just the training for that. And then over time, we will probably want to continue to send them to some ongoing professional development for this, but we would have our choice of how we do that, as opposed to somewhat being funneled into the Avid model, which was beneficial at first, but I really think it's sort of ran its course, so to speak, and we were finding that we were spending quite a bit of money to, I would say $50,000 would actually be a pretty modest, I would say closer to 60 or 70 would be a cost savings.
Okay. Thank you. At this time, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, Dr. Hoover, back to you for the next item on the agenda, 2024-2025 student fees.
Thank you. So just a quick refresher in here, during the 2023-24 school year, we did not charge student fees for families, just as a reminder that when the state changed their student textbook fees last year, we chose as a district to not charge any of those fees. State of Indiana amended the textbook process last year, and so we sort of took that on as we learned. And we, as many other districts, pay for all costs associated with textbook adoption, including all student fees. Department of Education, however, did not account for some of those student fees to be associated with the previous model of textbook rental, including things like dual credit classes, advanced placement classes, some type of consumable costs, and other school fees. After consideration and learning that school districts have more local control over this decision, we are seeking to reinstate student fees for the 2024-2025 school year and beyond. So really, this part is, if you think back to when all of us as families and parents paid textbook, there were textbook fees and then there were student fees. Now, a lot of times people didn't discern between the difference because you just pay them all at once, but they were broken into curricular fees, and then below the line were student fees. And that's been since, for years and years and years. This year, that was all changed, and we did not charge families. That was all taken over by the state. Unfortunately, by doing so, we can only charge for curricular fees, so all student fees fell on the school district. And after working with Mr. Carmichael, we realized that was approximately about $750,000 loss to the district because of things like the AP classes and dual credit that many of our high school students take advantage of. So after some research and talking with Mr. Carmichael and information he had gathered from Department of Education and IASBO, we made the decision that we wanted to begin to charge for just student fees for the upcoming school year. But we thought it was fiscally responsible, and we wanted to be diligent that we kept those fees very similar, in fact, not even lower than they were previous to this change last year. So we worked with the elementary, intermediate, middle school, and high school to look at what fees that we would begin to charge. And really what we're doing is kind of retroactively going back and looking at what fees costs were in the 2022-2023 school year, and tried to make them very similar to those. So I attached for your review what those estimated costs would be. In most cases, I did estimate what costs would not go over, so that way we would make sure that we stay under certain thresholds. And just approximately, that's going to be right around $25 to $30 at the elementary, approximately $25 at the intermediate school. And then unfortunately, just because of the middle school course offerings and the high school course offerings, that really kind of depends on what students take. So for some students, that cost could be a higher cost but they are getting, in those cases, higher dual credit, AP classes and so forth, and they're still obviously getting those at a much discounted rate. So one of the things that we think is really important with this is in the links there, you'll see the recommended fees. And I wanted to thank the building treasurers. They did an amazing job getting this ready for us very quickly. And we'll have to do a little bit of work just making sure that we have it all lined up, but I do think this would be the thresholds that we would stay under. We did make some general changes to them, but once again, staying under those thresholds. And we do think this will allow our students to still have the same high level of education with some modest fees that we would charge. The one thing that we do know is very important in this is we are going to have to over-communicate this change, because parents would have had that process, then had it taken away, and then now we're going to kind of going back into it. Curricular fees will stay exactly the same. That'll all be through the state. We will charge our students, or we will collect our our curricular cost, and then I will work with Mr. Tom and Michael and submit that to the state for reimbursement. So the administration is asking the board to approve this as presented.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2024-2025 student fees as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Thanks, Jimmy. It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2024-2025 student fees. Is there any discussion or any questions at this time?
Dr. Hoover, are these annual fees just paid one time, or are they paid each quarter? Or?
So at the beginning of every school year, we would post these, and then these would be annually one time. These are going to be mostly consumable costs, so costs that on a lot of supplies that students would use. The thing about student fees is that money has to be spent in that school year. And so we would essentially create, Mr. Tom Michael and members of his department would create line items for each of the buildings. So for an example, if we charge, say, a fee in art class, then those art teachers would have a line item which they would then buy their clay and materials and paint and stuff out of that, out of those items, like out of fee. And then that money would be used up in that school year, and then we would charge again annually for the following school year.
Just to add to that, our high school students, since they're on trimesters and there's a lot of changing of the course during the year, we do bill high school families by tri.
Okay.
So Mr. Hoover's right, or Dr. Hoover's right, it is an annual fee, but we do break it up sometimes based on schedules.
Is this shown to them when they sign up for the classes? Do they know what they're getting?
Yes, so for example, on here, the recommended high school fees, once, if we had school board approval, then we will then begin sharing this, and as students sign up and as they submit their classes, it'll automatically say what the cost of the fees are going to be. And so students would know if I'm taking X, Y, or Z class, that would be the fee for this class.
So basically, we approve this tonight, and you guys can start communicating, tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. In the blast.
It certainly is a good idea to be able to get this out, the word out sooner than later, so people have months to prepare. Yeah, so good job to bring this to tonight's agenda.
Thank you.
All right.
And as you kind of said, Dr. Hoover, this was, school districts did this before, but then the state kind of, took responsibility for some, mix-ups, and now we're bringing it back.
Yeah, and speaking completely honestly, Mr. Tom Michael can speak on this on better than I can, but I will tell you that the gist of it is, yes, we used to always do this where we would always pay textbook rental and fees as parents. That was a local cost. When this Department of Education took that over, the way it was indicated to us is that that was all going to be going to the state, so we assume that all fees and all curricular materials, and they did not account for things such as K through 6. It wasn't too big of a deal because fees were only about $25. We have high school students that take 3 to 4 dual credit AP classes, and if you throw in technology, they might cost $600, $700, $800 in fees. They know that going up front, and they know that that's going towards a good purpose, but we took on essentially the brunt of all those costs. And after talking with several districts and Department of Education, they essentially loosened some of those guidelines to where then we can, a lot of districts are going to move in that direction. And quite honestly, we might expect that there may be continued changes along the way along this. And Mr. Tom and Michael would obviously be the one that would be bringing that to us.
Yeah, I mean, everything Dr. Hoover said is correct. Across the state, you will see every school district is going to be doing this a little bit differently. So when you look around, just understand that everyone does it a little differently. Carmel never stopped charging for kind of those consumable items. And really, we've kind of watched them this past year to see how did the state respond to them, how did that work for them, and they were able to, the level of academic excellence that we want to offer across the board requires just some more consumables in some of our classes. So in order to continue that level of expectation, we just felt like this was the necessary step to take as we move forward.
Okay, thank you.
But for like grade school parents, it sounds like they're not going to notice much of a difference between last year and this year.
For parents that have kindergarten through 6th grade students, it's going to be probably estimated $25 to $30 fee cost. For grades 7 through 8 will be a little higher, but still minimal.
Right.
9 through 12, in particular, students in 10 through 12 could see the return of the cost of what they paid
Right.
for.
Which we did a couple years ago anyway. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, previous to this year, that was all paid by the school, by parents, and then we would.
Right.
Yeah, so last year was the only year that was not done.
Right.
But we do understand that going away from it, and then going back to a version of it is going to be confusing because obviously the narrative right now is that the state pays for textbook and fees, and we'll have to do some communicating on what that looks like.
For sure. Okay.
Excellent. All right, now we will vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. Next up, we have the approval of Westfield High School 2024-2025 course offerings, and once again, Dr. Hoover.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. This one is pretty straightforward. Every year we do an adoption with various areas. As you well know, last year was math, science, and social studies for grades K through 8. The schools are usually on a 6-year cycle, and this year happened to be an adoption cycle for our CTE, so our career technical education, all of our related arts, so that was visual arts, performing arts, wellness, health, STEM, and media, and then also all of our world languages. In the CTE realm, there are literally hundreds of classes that have to be reviewed every 6 years, and what we do with that is we do a process of looking at, of course, the learning targets, the review of new standards, any assessments that go along with these programs, and ultimately it culminates in looking at potential resources that are recommended for adoption. So myself and our instructional coaches, in particular Allie Maliu at the high school, and then all of our teachers met with us once per month in here, and we started the process off back in August, going through all the new standards and creating our learning targets, creating our instructional calendars, and then, like I said, culminating with resources. In some cases, teachers stuck with the resources they were using. In most cases, we looked at the updated version of that or possibly a new version of that. And so what I've submitted is what are the new course fees for all of those programs. There are literally hundreds of new courses that were part of this. So for example, like in business alone, there are just multiple business classes, but in many cases, they might utilize the same book for multiple classes or multiple sections. And what we did was, Joanna Groom and I worked on this to then create a course fee, and this would be the course fees that we would be using for curriculum classes next year that students would be taking. So really what we're asking for approval is the recommendation of the curriculum team that the school board approves the high school course listing offering.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the Westfield High School 2024-2025 course offerings as presented.
So moved. You got it, Bill.
Okay.
Great. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Awesome. It's been moved and seconded to approve the Westfield High School 2024-2025 course offering. Is there any discussion or any questions? All right, motion pass. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. All right. The final item on the agenda for Dr. Hoover is a curriculum update.
Thank you, Mrs. Willis. Last update for curriculum team is just wanted to give our board members an update on where we're at with our overall process. So kindergarten through 5th grade has been working diligently on the English language arts adoption this year. We began that in August, working with Dr. McNeil, who is a science of reading specialist and expert, along with our 45 teachers. And that includes our instructional coaches, our literacy teachers, as well as administrators and K through 5 teachers. We have, as you well know, the state of Indiana had a list of approved curricular materials that was a smaller list than normal. There were 5 resources that were approved that schools can adopt. We went through the process as a committee, and we have, by a process of elimination based upon the committee's recommendations, reached down to our 2 final curricular resources that this Thursday we will be doing a deep dive. We have our entire curricular team doing a full day of professional development, and both of the companies will be coming and doing a extended presentation of their materials, allowing our teachers to do a model lesson, which will be them working across grade levels to sort of plan a lesson to get a really good feel for it. And then ultimately there'll be a question and answer session where we will ask any final questions of the resources and the publishers that we have. And then the final activity will be, we will be working K through 5 across schools, really looking at both resources, the highlights of them, any areas of concern that we may have, and then ultimately over the next week making doing a consensus form that would identify, give us some data on where our teachers are thinking as a committee, very similar to the math process. Language arts tends to have maybe a little more passion when it comes to teachers, especially at the elementary level, on what they believe on how reading should be taught. But we are confident that both resources that we have would be excellent choices for our teachers to use. And we're reminding them that they are the expert. The resource is simply a tool that we will be looking at. So we'll have more information for you on that after next Wednesday when we do our voting. In addition to that, we've done K through our 6th through 8th grade teachers, as well as our 9 through 12, have begun their English and language arts this year. We started them deliberately 6 months later because we didn't really want to do K-12 all at the same time, just for the fact of subs and the number of days we'd have teachers out of the building. So we started them in March, and we've had 3 excellent meetings with our secondary folks when it comes to English and language arts. They will continue their adoption next year. And theirs is a little different. Typically at the secondary level, we're not using a model, a book that maybe is approved by the state. They're usually looking at more novels that they have to read first, and then they will make recommendations to the committee. 6, 7, and 8, however, in years past would do more novels and choice books. Those would still probably stay, but the state of Indiana is moving towards having grades 6 through 8 really follow the same science of reading model that K through 5 is using, which might make our 6 through 8 teachers want to look at a resource that fits that narrative more so. So they're in the process of, actually tomorrow morning and next Wednesday morning, we have 2 companies coming, presenting with 5th through 8th grade teachers, and then if we feel confident in those resources, then we would make a recommendation to the school board in the June board meeting. And I just want to say publicly that, so we've been through essentially math, science, language arts, and then all of our CTE-related arts, world languages, and how thoroughly impressed I am with the work that our teachers have done. The amount of time every time a teacher's out of the classroom, it's like 2 days being out of the classroom of the work that they have to do to prepare. And we simply, they came in, they worked hard, and they worked, very diligently. And at times when there were moments of discussion or debate, they worked through them as professionals. And I was very impressed with this entire process because of them.
Great.
I have a question.
Yep. You talked about the curriculum team. Who does that consist of, and are they the ones that are going to be picking out the curriculum going forward?
Sure. So for K through 5, we felt it was very important with the size of the district, our big, to have people that would represent each grade level and each school. So our K through 5, we have one member of kindergarten, first, second, third, and fourth from each school that represents their team. Fifth grade has 6 members, and then every instructional coach and every literacy coach from each elementary is also present, as well as administrators have also come to all the meetings this year, either the assistant principal or principal. At 6 through 8, they have members that are identified. So most of our teachers elect to join one of our curriculum teams, and then they serve as a liaison and representative for that team to then they are the informed member, and then their job is to go back and to work with their teams about all the information that's been done. One of the things that we did say was the committee member got us to this point as far as getting information down to 2, but when we get to our final choices, we are going to ask them to take all the information they've learned and gathered and then to sit down and have extensive discussions with their team. And they've been doing this ongoing because it's super important that they are essentially voting or giving a consensus vote on behalf of their team, not just themselves. We feel like that would help tremendously with the buy-in of the resource once we do make a selection. And we want to make sure that we're representing all teachers, not just the ones on the committee.
And I like to add to this a perfect example of the shared leadership model that we try to utilize. Dr. Atha brought this in as we talked about this 3 years ago. Again, we had 95% of math teachers agree on the same. I'm not optimistic it'll be that high because there's just when you're talking about reading and literacy, there's just so many views. We will not be using the previous literacy, and Mike, you and I talked about that. The previous one is not one of our candidates for this, but truly a shared-driven model. And any teacher that wants input can give input, but at some point in time, we got to make a decision, and we'll do that through a collaborative consensus-building process. So, but we've got it down to 2, so a lot of input and a tremendous amount of time with Ryan and our teachers and our academic coaches. So, special thank you to you guys.
Yeah, thank you for your time and your curriculum team time and everything else.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan, or thanks, Dr. Cooper, sorry. We will now hear from Josh Andrews for a communication update.
Thank you very much. This past week, we relaunched the Destination Westfield webpage, and it has a new look to it, and we'll be giving weekly updates on the project's progress. Thanks to Sean and Bailey and the drone that they had, we're taking aerial photos, and every week we'll have some new photos of each of the projects as they go along. This coming week we'll have photos of the Cary Ridge Elementary School extension, and each week in the blast and each week on the website we'll continue to update those. Thursday is the final Shamrock Academy session for this year. We're going to be at the high school, and they will see the Life Ready Rocks session, where they're going to see the culinary, they're going to see construction, they'll see the rock shop, the idea farm, all of the cool things at the Shamrock Academy at Westfield High School. They'll walk around and get that tour. And with this being the last one, we'll start the promotion for next year's cohort to see who wants to be involved. So if anyone out there wants to be involved in Shamrock Academy, that information will be out there very soon. Last month, when there was the Rock Strong Award for Shamrock Springs, the PE teacher Christine DeCrane was here, and she won for her for doing the American Heart Association fundraising. And so today, WRTV and The Current were there to interview her and a couple of students who raised money in honor of their grandmother and their mom as well. And that'll be on WRTV Evening News either tomorrow or Friday. But it's a really great story, and I think more people should hear about it. So they raised money for their grandmother who recently passed of a heart attack, and they reached out to all her grandmother's friends to help raise money, and it was really good. Today was actually the first. Brian here has started a new, I don't know if you want to call it a podcast or video series, but with the intention of increasing transparency specifically to staff members, because there's so much is happening in the school district with Destination Westfield and with a lot of decisions that are being made that we want to make sure that staff knows that we're speaking directly to them. So the first episode we filmed, it's produced by students in the high school, and it's Brian's show, and the first one is about Destination Westfield and kind of how things have changed with the recent bills that were passed in the General Assembly. So we want to give people the chance to hear these conversations in a more relaxed manner, but also we would like to invite any other staff members who want to have conversations or have questions to that show as well. So you guys will see that. You'll see that all soon. You'll see it before it goes public, and we can get it out there. A couple of save the dates is on May 21st, we'll have the open house right here in this room for Destination Westfield. There will be the engineers, architects, and district administration here to give all of the context of the plans, the ideas, the reasons, the growth of this community, and you'll hear directly from the people who are making the decisions and designing the buildings. If there's one session that will be specifically for staff so they can come, and then there will be a session in the evening that will be open to the public, and that will be on May 21st. If we haven't already said it, Rock the Block is coming back, and it'll be on August 2nd. And always looking for community input and community involvement. The booth registration is open now, so if there's any local organizations or businesses that want to be a part of Rock the Block, that's now open. And then Chris and Ashley on May 23rd will be representing our district for the Sell Our Schools event, where they'll be speaking to local realtors and giving them some information that they need when people come and ask which districts do we live in and which school system is the best. We want them to say Westfield, and we're going to give them all the reasons that they should say Westfield at that meeting. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Evening.
I just want to say a special thank you to our entire team. What a great school year, all the success stories and all the buildings and everything we do. And I think our communications and engagement team has really pushed us to a new level in what we're doing, all the different activities. It's been a great year, but it's a complete team. And I mentioned shared leadership. That's what it's about. You know, from our teachers to our students. Our students right now, for example, are coming up with 3 names for the intermediate school, and they'll present that. And also our foodies, I met with them today. They're going to look at coming up with a name for the community center. So we'll have a chance here in the next month or 2 to look at those. But again, getting our team involved, really, really critical.
I just want to give a shout out to everybody who stayed tonight, especially our cultural exchange students. Thought it was great, the stories and the reflections you gave. So really excited you guys had a great time here, and hopefully you'll have opportunities to come back and visit. And glad you had a great time again. And thanks to the families too. I don't know if everybody's here, but yeah, thank you to the families. I know that's a big commitment. And then I should take pictures of these when I see them, but I thought did we have a club frisbee team or frisbee golf make a championship or?
Yeah, the Ultimate Frisbee Club at the high school, they came second in the state a couple of weekends ago.
Yeah, that's nuts. So congrats to them.
Yeah.
Yep. American Pie at the high school was very successful. Oh, sorry, was very successful. I think we also had a very successful alumni banquet, so we're encouraging all current seniors and recent graduates to join the alumni of Westfield High School. And then May 30th is commencement, so hopefully that'll be live streamed by Rox Media. Commencement will be live streamed.
It's not normally live streamed. We haven't done that in the past.
Oh, okay. Well,
Can we do it in the future?
We can talk to the high school, but it's a whole different setup than what we do, but we can see what we can do about that.
okay. I know there's people struggling to get enough tickets. And then a couple weeks ago, we had Laugh It Off for Teacher Appreciation. It was a very fun evening put on by the Westfield Education Foundation. The Foodies kids provided food. We had tons of volunteers. It was a big success. That's all I got.
Yeah, I got 2 items. So I know we get a monthly board update, and I do read those, but I really want to call out Josh's. It's great. I love seeing all the articles. And it's a list of article after article after article of all positive things about the district that are collected in one place. And I see them, but I don't see them all until I see that list, and I really appreciate that. And one of the reasons I appreciate that is I'm also part of the Kiwanis Club here, and a lot of those folks are retired, and a lot of them read their papers, some of them religiously, and a lot of them don't have, they don't have kids in the district anymore, but they see these articles, they read them, they bring them up to me, and I think it makes them feel good about their contributions to the district and what we do for the community. So thank you for that. Those are great articles. I love seeing those. The second thing was groundbreaking we had for the Transportation Center. It was fantastic. I loved it. I don't know who organized it, but fantastic job. Went very, very smoothly, and it was great.
I just want to thank all the leadership, everybody around here that goes through all the hard work to make a successful year as the year is winding down and everything else. So the shared leadership, or it takes a village to raise a child, is great stuff. And I want to thank my wife. Monday was our anniversary, 29th, for putting up with me. I'm not always easy to get along with. But I want to thank her, and happy anniversary to her, or us. Thank you.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to, I'm a proud parent of a 2024 grad, and for all the other parents out there that are looking forward to the 30th. Your kids made it, you made it, and good job to all of them. So looking forward to celebrating our 2024 seniors.
Perfect. All right, our next meeting is actually going to be a board work session on May 28th. And then our next regular board meeting is going to be June 11th. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Is there a second to the motion? Second?
Second.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.